So every time we have a mass shooting, you have the people screaming for gun control. And here's the thing, that is such a vague topic. And you have people saying, you know, things will never change until we get gun control, or the country will never be safe, or our kids will never be safe in school until we get gun control. We have gun control. We have a lot of gun control. There's a lot of laws in place to protect people from the wrong person getting the gun. The problem with gun laws is, okay, let me put it this way. The problem with the approach that people tend to have is that, again, it's very vague. What do you mean we need gun controls? What laws specifically need to be changed or added so that dangerous people can't have guns? If you have a mental illness, you can't have a gun. If you're a felon, you can't have a gun. So what are you talking about? If a person that has no history, no documented history of mental illness, no criminal background, goes down and gets a gun, and he'll pass the background check because he doesn't have a criminal background. He'll pass the psych test, or because he doesn't have any mental illness. There's no way to predict. You can't predict what people are going to do. Now, if people have so-called red flags, so to speak, like if they have hateful things on their Facebook and their Instagram, like this last guy did, then yeah, those are warning signs. But okay, so the way to combat that would be that if a person applies for a gun permit, the only way to combat that kind of thing is you're going to run the background check. He's going to pass it. You're going to run the psych check. Apparently he passed it because apparently this guy, I don't know, apparently he wasn't hospitalized. So now you have to pass a law to say that the government is going to look at your social media to determine whether or not you're a nutcase. Now, you may think that's okay. You may think like, hey, look, if that's going to stop school shootings, or if that's going to stop criminals from going on rampages, then that's a good thing. But you got to understand the implications of that kind of thinking. You don't realize things like that can be used against you yourself. So if you just think about how people think that Black Lives Matter is violent. And I don't know about Black Lives Matter. Antifa definitely is violent. But let's say you're posting Black Panther stuff, or you're posting stuff from certain people from the conscious community who talk. Let's say you're in a conscious group, and the people in that conscious group talk about killing white people and going to war with the white people and killing police, because every group has those extremists. So let's say you're in one of those groups and you don't even talk like that, but you're in a group like that. You have a couple people on your timeline who talk like that. So now if the idea is that you're going to look at people's social media to determine whether or not they should have a gun, then people can look at yours and say, guilt by association. You're associated with this person. You're associated with this group. You are probably unstable, therefore you should not have a gun. Like, y'all don't understand the implications of some of the stuff that y'all say. They may sound good when you first, just saying them, they may sound good, but in application, they don't really make a lot of sense. And even if you were to monitor, even if you were to monitor everybody's every move and every step and every thought and that sort of thing, all their social media and that. Even if you were to spy on people and that sort of thing, that's not going to prevent people from committing crimes. There is no law on the books that will stop an evil person from committing evil. Outlawing alcohol during the prohibition did not stop people from drinking. Outlawing drinking and driving does not stop people today from drinking and driving. Outlawing drugs don't stop people from doing drugs. You have laws that your kids got to go to school. You have laws against abusing your kid, against child abuse. They don't stop people from doing it. Laws don't stop people from committing crimes. They don't. And when it comes down to the AR-15 and look, I'm not even a gun person. I'll be the first one to tell you, I've never shot a gun. I've only held a gun like twice in my entire life. I don't know. I don't know much about guns, but I do know that AR in the AR-15 does not stand for assault rifle. It stands for Armalite rifle. It's not an assault rifle. It's not an assault rifle. Just because it has a scope on it, just because it looks modern, doesn't mean it's an assault rifle. Now, people want to blame the gun. Let's say you take every AR-15 and every type of gun like that outside of the country. Do you really think school shootings are going to stop? Do you really think that? Do you really think that that's the only way people can do mass shootings? You can have a mass shooting with a handgun. In fact, people have done it before. So, but here's the thing. Why would you ban assault rifles, which I'm not going to use that term. That's the wrong term. Why would you ban AR-15s? Because people use them in school shootings, and the total deaths of the kids in school shootings, if you take every mass shooting from 1980 to now, if you take every single one and add up all of the shootings, all of the victims, that number will still be less than the number of gun violence victims in Chicago in 2017. In Chicago, one city in 2017 had 3,400 3,400 shootings. So you're going to ban a gun. The logical implication or the logical train of thought is, if you're going to ban AR-15s because X amount of people keep getting killed in mass shootings, then logically it only makes sense to ban handguns, because in our inner cities, people get killed at probably 10, 15, 20, 50, whatever. People get killed way more with handguns than they do with AR-15s. That just makes sense. Like, if that is the problem, if the number of damage that is caused or the number of casualties is going to be the determinant factor on whether or not we ban certain guns, you might as well ban them all. You know what's going to happen if you do ban them all? Good law-abiding citizens won't have guns, but criminals will, because laws don't stop criminals from committing crimes.